Hello everyone and welcome to Spot On, brought to you by the Kidlit Foundation. I am your host, Kuye Samiat, and I'm glad you're here with us again today. If you joined us last week Thursday, you would know that this Spot On is about stories, art and creativity. And if you joined us last week, we were we're with Moyosore Aladesuyi, who is a very incredible author. And we're maintaining the same energy this week with Dr. Chigozie Mbadugah. Let me tell you about Dr. Chigozie Mbadugah. Dr. Chigozie Mbadugah is a remarkable author. She is an award-winning author, a surgeon, an author. Yeah, I think I said that already. And she has been a part of many of KLF events like our 2024 panel session, our 2025 mentorship program, where she actually stole the show with the children. Dr. Chigozie is going to be joining us today to talk about our process as a writer, our journey, and she's going to be giving advice. So I want you guys to sit back and enjoy today's Spot On. Let me quickly get Dr. Chigozie here so we can move on with today's Spot On. While we're doing that, you guys should, drop emojis, drop comments. So I'm trying to get Dr. Chigozie on here so we can have an inspiring session for today. I want you guys to, engage the comment section and let's hear from you guys too. Dr. Chigozie will be here with us shortly. Hello, Dr. Chigozie.
Hello, how are you doing?
It's nice to have you here.
Same
I've
here.
been really excited about my session with you because I've read a lot about you and you've really inspired me.
Oh, thank you.
So I actually read that you wrote your first book at the age of 6, which is very incredible. How did that even happen?
I'll tell you in 1 minute.
Okay. So your camera is off.
Oops. Okay, hi. I think I can't tell you how I wrote that book at 6, but my parents were teachers, so we're always encouraged to read, and I just loved stories from childhood. So I used to read a lot. So from reading, I then started writing my own things. You know how children have a big imagination. So I
Yeah.
started imagining things and I would write it down. And they were very, very supportive. So they will support me to, write, "Oh, what story did you write? Let me read," and all of that. So I then wrote my stories. They stapled it together. I still know where it is. I didn't publish it, but it was nice. It was very encouraging. So, and my children write. So when they write, I encourage them. We get a folder. Okay, let's pop it in here. And it may not be something they publish, but it's proof of what they can do as they
Yeah.
get older. So even my daughter has drawings of when she was 2, 3. She just scribble, we'll keep it. Especially when she does nice ones, maybe things like that. It just happens.
That's very nice. And thank you for sharing how that happened. So, our viewers start writing today, no matter the age. So you
Yes,
wear a lot of
please.
hats. I mentioned I actually read about you like very well. You're a surgeon, you're an author, you're a publisher. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
That's really impressive. I read something you wrote. You said your life is a blend of eye surgeries and eye
Yeah.
popping fiction. So how do you manage your demanding career and your passion for writing?
You know, when you have passion for something, it's easier to do. So I find that there are people. I find that for me, writing is not a chore. Writing is unwinding. Writing is relaxing. So when people say,
Wow.
"Oh, where do you find the time?" When you like something, you will find the time, and then you won't see it as work. So what I do is, I know that I'm more of an early morning person. So if I want to
Mhm.
write a story, I wake up a little earlier before I need to get my day going, and I sit and write. Sometimes I may write around 3 a.m., go back to bed, wake
Wow.
up, and then get into the runs of the day. And I did a long medical posting, which involved being in a taxi for 2 to 3 hours to go, 2 to 3 hours to come. So I made up my mind that I can't just sit and be looking at the window because I was chauffeur driven.
Yeah.
There's no way. So I had a work bag, a medical bag, and I had a writing bag. So when I'm in the taxi, just thinking about my day, either on my way there or my way back, I just write. So it's something we can always create time to do. And it doesn't have to be a long time. Those 3 hours, I didn't spend the whole 3 hours writing. Maybe I'll spend 30 minutes, 1 hour, but all of that adds up. So even if it's 15 minutes a day, write something. Even if it's 10 minutes, just scribble something. Sometimes I stumble on my stories. I'm like, really? When did I write this? And I'm okay, I remember vaguely. And I've got lots of half-written stories that I haven't quite finished, but which I hope to when I'm able to. But any writing works really.
Yeah. So you're humbly telling us that you're a superhero. So you switch from being a
No.
writer to a surgeon to a publisher and all that. And I love that. So let's go back to the fact that you started writing at 6. Do you think
Hmm.
your of course it has. I don't want you to because the way you wrote when you were 6, how has it
Hmm.
evolved to the way you are writing now?
Oh, it has definitely evolved. If you look at my stories, then you'll find out that, you know, I was just writing whatever came to my head. I wasn't following any writing style because I didn't know any writing styles, or just my imagination. And then I kept writing along the line, just kept writing. And even when I was in medical school, I still had small, small snippets of things I wrote. And interestingly, I had a list of things I wanted to write. And I wrote a
Wow.
title. And the title I wrote in medical school was Rude Awakening. I didn't have a plot to it. I just liked the way the title sounded. And years down the line, after I published a short story, a novella called Rude Awakening, I was like, wow. I stumbled on that piece of paper. I was really, what was I thinking? It was the same title, Rude Awakening. So that was amazing for me. A bit of a coincidence, I think, because I didn't remember I'd written that long ago, years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
That's That's very interesting. So you actually mentioned, yeah, you shared that you like making children happy with your books.
Mm.
The reason you went into children literature. Can you share with us any of your interesting or memorable moments while you were interacting with children or young readers?
Okay. I was invited to a school to talk to children on World Literacy Day. And then I
Yeah.
finished writing. We read some of the stories, we read them together, we asked questions. And I was leaving. They were, don't go, don't go. And I was actually feeling like a celebrity. I said, this is serious business. And I was getting all sorts of hugs from all the little kids. They were just absolutely awesome. And then they actually ask very insightful questions. They will ask you things about your writing journey. I'm like, okay, I actually never thought about this. Hold on. And it was an eye opener for me that some of them had engaged with the story so much. Some of them wanted to know a lot of things about me, about the process, and then some of them had things they had written and needed that urge, that push, that oh yeah, you can do this as well. And
Yeah.
don't just throw away the story, don't tear it up, give it to mommy or daddy to keep. So that was absolutely lovely. And then I've actually a child told her a child I met a child at a clinic, and then she went, oh, you're the author, I saw your book. I said, okay, that's awesome. So it's really exciting when people. And then recently a colleague sent me a picture of her and her children reading my book and talking about it, and then she said, thank you so much for writing. I said, you don't even know what you've done for me. Even this picture you
Wow.
sent of your children, giving me feedback that the children loved the story. That's so, so encouraging.
Yeah. I think when you get feedback, it makes you want to do better. And that is something you
Absolutely.
said you love. Like you engage children, like you want them to
Mm,
give you feedback about your books, what to change,
mm.
what to do, and what
Yeah.
not. Do you have any, you get a lot of feedbacks. Do you have anyone that stood out to you like, this is a
Well,
feedback?
I've had two. There's a book I wrote. It was titled, okay, this was my first book, although it's in a different cover now,
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the Trial. Okay.
Yeah.
Beyond the Trial has gone on to win quite a good number of awards. And the it's a collection of three novellas. I
Wow.
then later went on to break them down and I published them separately. So this is one of the stories in Beyond the Trial, Shadows from the Past. The second one was Erased Reproach. And then the third one was Rude Awakening. Rude Awakening went on to get United Nations recognition, which was exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then I had two patients. I had two. They're not patients. Well, one was a patient, one was a colleague. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of them looked me in the eye and said, "I don't know if you know, but you wrote about me." I was like, "Okay," because I knew
Wow.
nothing about me. Yes. And Rude Awakening talks about bad widowhood practices, talks about the effect that of what losing a breadwinner does to a family and to the children, how it can truncate education and all of that. Talked about uh, gender discrimination in a subtle, entertaining way. And then she said, "Oh, I've been a widow for years, and basically what I went through is what you wrote about." I was like, "Okay."
Mm.
And I didn't know she was a widow. So that was shocking for me. And that's another experience that another lady had. And that's what she told me as well. And then she then had this NGO for widows. God rest her soul. She's
Okay.
late now.
Oh,
And every year she said, I need some books to share at my NGO and all of that. And she went on to tell me her own life story. So when people come and they can identify themselves in your story, they can see what they went through being depicted, and then they give me feedback. Okay, well, this ending wasn't how mine ended, but or this was actually how it ended, but I would have loved this one to fight more. I love that. I actually love that when they give me that kind of feedback. Lets me know how they feel about the story. And then for several years now, I've got a school that uses erased reproach, and all I hear when I go to that school, I'm like, oh, see how you wrote that book. I've read it. I love it. I said, okay. Can you sign my book? I said, okay. And then somebody else said, when can we get a sequel? They want a sequel. They say, yes, want a sequel to that story. And I've had that request quite a few times. So I've started working on a sequel to Erased Reproach. So it's exciting as a writer to get feedback. It's important to get feedback
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you write and you're not quite sure. Okay, will people buy this book? Is it really that interesting or is it just me? And then they tell you, oh, I love this book. I love the story. I could resonate with it. That's so, so encouraging. Yeah.
It is actually nice. I think nice is diminishing what I want to say, but I'm not able to get the word I want
Oh,
right now
then,
because people are able to resonate with your books. They can see themselves in your book. Not many writers can do that actually. And
mm,
Dr. Peters, you have so many books.
I
Um, how
do.
are people how are people to go about getting any of your books?
Okay, I've got, you can order directly from my publisher or my publishing company, Kamba Books. There are many bookshops. They are in Roving Heights, which is in Surulere and in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
They are on Amazon. They are on Seller. They are in lots of places, and you can always send us a DM, and we can get one across to you. So it's actually so amazing. And you know the funny thing about Beyond the Trial, the three stories I wrote them separately. You know how I was telling you I've got half stories lying around. So I wrote them
Yes.
separately, and I had my colleagues read some of them, half written. So it was the end of that story. I said, "Hello, yes. How did he and who did she marry?" I said, "Ah, auntie,
Ah.
calm down. When are you finishing this story?" I said, "Is it that? Yes, please. When they fin, oh, I like the ending. When are we publishing it?" So it does help to have cheerleaders around you. Because I actually was just writing for the fun of it, for passion. That's how I started. Because I've
Wow.
had a long, tiring day at work. Okay, let me write something. Then I joined an online writers forum where we get prompts to write. So that was also quite helpful. So I'll write
Yeah.
a response to a prompt and all of that. And so if people, and then I get feedback from the group as well, and people say, oh, this is a lovely story, lovely ending, what are you going to do with it? I was like, okay. So all of that helps build your confidence as a writer. That And it doesn't have to be online. People, when it's family, you always feel, oh, it's my sister that said it. It's because I'm her
Yeah.
sister, but I do get the first story I wrote as an adult. It's still not published because after I
Wow.
wrote it, it's big. Oh, after I wrote it, typed it and all, I just felt no, no, I can do better. And by then I had
Oh,
published Beyond the Trial. I said no. I still feel a little bad that I never did publish it. And I tell myself I can still go back, but I'll need to introduce so many twists to that plot because it was too predictable for me.
oh,
I don't like it when from the beginning you can tell exactly where it's going and how it's ending. It's got to
yeah.
be some surprises. Yeah.
Yes. Like, let us want to know what's at the end. Let me open to the last page and be like,
Yeah.
okay, what happened?
Yes.
So our viewers are actually looking forward to a sequel to The Queen Keaton says we want a sequel too. We can't wait to read.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
And your books, they're not just in English. They're in French,
No. Yeah, so
German, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and that's very versatile. Everybody can read.
actually, it's interesting. This is one of my picture books, Kitty Stops Being Afraid. And Kitty has been translated to all of the languages you mentioned.
That's
And
so
this is
great.
the Igbo version of Kitty.
Igbo.
Kitty Kosiri Itu, yeah. I've got the Yoruba version as well. And interestingly, you see, it's good to interact with other authors because I never actually started off planning to translate my books. And I joined the Association of Children Book Authors in Nigeria. And some people were saying, oh, I've got my book in house. I said, okay, is that all right? Is that the way we are going now? And I said, okay, thank you. I'm going to do my translation. So that was nice. So it's always nice to get inspired by other authors. And we need to collaborate more. We need to support one another more. So if you're able to get into a group or a network where all of you are inspiring each other, when is the next book coming out? And then, people post about the book, you repost, you share. It's absolutely lovely. And that's what we do in that group. And I mean, several other groups as well,
That's
where
very
we cheer each other on. So that helps me. That helps me a lot.
yeah. I think encouragement
Yeah.
builds one's belief in oneself. So,
Yeah.
Canva books. Let's talk
Mm.
about Canva books.
Okay. Um, Beyond the Trial was first published by a UK company,
Mm,
and you know how dollar pounds
the
is.
exchange rates.
So at the time I published, I printed I think 3,000 books, and at that time I know how much that book was printing cost. And then the naira started dropping, depreciating, and I was like, how am I going to sell this book? How is this going to work? And so I made up my mind at that juncture that I'm not printing any book abroad again. It's got to be in Nigeria. If me and my printers are fighting, let's fight. So when we start, I always tell them that this book, this is the quality I want, and I will not take anything less than that. How much will it cost you to give me good quality? And so we agree. If it falls short, you have to go and sort it out. And that's what I did. So that's what inspired the formation of Canva Books. I needed to be able to take control of publishing these books
Yeah.
and be able to be part of that process. And it was a learning curve for me because I made mistakes. I was, outside of my comfort zone. I thank God that I met some authors who I was able to talk with, who were able to guide me. So, but Canva Books is a publishing company that I'm a part of. I head the editorial team. I've got a team that works with
Um,
me. I've got creative directors who look through the books, and it's just lovely. It's a small company, but it's lovely.
small big company, you mean? So,
It's a small company, and what I like, I've actually Canva Books has been able to publish for children. So we've got some child authors. One of them, Favor, has published two books. We walk
mm,
her through the editorial process and all of that, did the layout, and her books are um, recommended for use in Ebonyi State. So that's
oh,
exciting for us. Favor was just 10 when she joined us. And we've got another author, Ivana has written a lovely book. She's working on her second novel, and Ivana is 11. And
oh,
and I'm just excited to be able to bring children's books and their dreams to light,
mm,
and it's lovely. And then you'll be amazed. The children authors, they have a clear idea what they want. They'll tell you, I want my book square, I want it golden, I want it glossy. This illustration does not work for me. I need so basically I get portfolios from illustrators and I show them these are their drawings. Choose
mm,
what you want. So we carry them along, and it's so gratifying to be able to help a child bring a book to light. And so we know that it's a fierce world out there. By the time you get some criticism, you may say, "Oh, I'm not good." No, but we're like confidence boosters. We read through and we try to give it professional editing so that it can stand on any bookshelf in the world
yeah,
and be comparable to any book that is available out there.
yeah. So that is, actually, you have me speechless because
Um,
10-year-olds, 11-year-olds are
yeah,
writing.
yeah.
So, do you have any book recommendations for the next generation who are aspiring to be readers? and well, also aspiring to write so people can read.
Um, there are many books out there, and a lot of. I grew up reading a lot of foreign. Enid Blyton. I think I read all her series, everything, Famous Five, Secret Seven, all of that. But I think I did read a lot of Nigerian authors as a child as well, the ones that were available, African authors as well. Kamaralaye, So Long a Letter, Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, and I did literature in school as well, which exposed me to a wide range of books. And of course, my parents, like I said, were teachers, so we had books everywhere, up down everywhere. There were books. I'll encourage anybody who wants to write to read wide. There's so many amazing authors out there in Nigeria. Chimamanda's books, the books published by Masobe Books, Knowledge Publishers. There are too many to name, but please read wide. It helps you know, oh, I like this type of book, I like this genre. It helps you, and it broadens your scope, and you're able to critique, oh, this did not work for me, what were they thinking, I hate the ending, oh, why did they end it like this would have been so nice. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, oh, there's a loose end here, they didn't tell me what this guy did. Maybe they want to put it in a sequel, but it shapes you when you read a lot. So there are many books out there that can be read, and then there's a beauty of digital books as well, which you can buy online and read without having a mammoth collection in the house. So there are many.
There you have it. Dr. Chigozie said you should read wide because it broadens your scope. So, Dr. Chigozie, you've been a part
Hmm.
of TLF. You attended our 2024 panel session. You
Yeah.
attended our 2025 mentorship program, and the kids
Yeah.
totally love you.
Oh,
So,
I
why
love
do you
them
think
too.
programs like the KLF mentorship are powerful to guide young readers and aspiring authors to get to where they want to get to?
KLF is an amazing initiative. I loved the book festival, the book fair. I loved the mentorship program I had, interacting with the children. They were absolutely brilliant. I love the writing sessions, and I would say that it's something that parents should try and enroll their children in. There's so much to be gained from community as children. There's so much to learn from each other. And if you have a dedicated program that mentors you as you're writing, you're getting feedback from your mentors, and you're learning new skills, learning about different genres, learning even speaking skills. Oh, I love that one. Oh, yeah. So it builds confidence, and I think it's a laudable initiative, and I wholeheartedly recommend it for children, for schools. Schools should enroll their children in classes, and it's amazing. They will see the benefits when they come back to school and they are writing exams and they are writing stories, creative writing, literature. It's just absolutely amazing, and I do recommend it. I'm looking forward to the book
Well,
festival, book
I'm looking
fair
forward to you.
2025.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
so
Dr. Chigozie, thank you very much for this beautiful conversation.
thank
Viewers,
you.
make sure to check out Dr. Chigozie's books from our
Yeah.
publishing company at canvabooks.com, right?
Yes.
And please follow Dr. Chigozie's page at Canva Books. Thank you for being here today. Make sure to follow KLF across all platforms at the Kid Lit Fest. Across
Yeah.
all platforms.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep reading, keep creating, and keep telling your stories because stories shape the future.
They
Bye.
do. Bye.